Number 10. The Colonel didn't like KFC. If you look at certain fast food joints, you'll see that the mascot of the place is held in high esteem because it's something the restaurant can market. Burger King has the king, Wendy's has Wendy, the daughter of the founder, and so on. For Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders is their founder and icon. Especially in recent years, the Colonel has been used and portrayed by various celebrities in order to promote themselves and the fried chicken brand, which would make you think that the Colonel, the actual Colonel, was a fan of his own creation until he passed away, right? Well, not so much. You see, Colonel Harlan Sanders did indeed make the chicken recipe that made KFC so famous, but after it exploded, he eventually sold his stake in the company while getting rich in the process, but stayed on as a, quote, goodwill ambassador, in order to continue promoting the company he made. The problem? Without his guiding influence, the company fell into some bad habits and apparently made some food changes that the Colonel wasn't happy with at all, including making gravy that was like, quote, wallpaper paste, and a new crispy chicken recipe that was, quote, nothing in the world but a damn fried dough ball stuck on some chicken, according to him. Why wouldn't KFC want you to know about that? Well, if you heard about how the founder of the joint didn't like what it became, you'd likely trust it less, wouldn't you? Number 9. The Fry Trick. This next one isn't just a secret, it's honestly a scam, and a mean one at that. What's worse, it takes place at McDonald's. If you look at a commercial for McDonald's, you look at the fries, you'll see that they're perfectly straight and literally filling up the container that they're in. You might look at this commercial and go, my fries will be just like that. Well, no. Granted, it would take a lot of time to put the fries all perfectly straight up, but that's not the issue, because certain McDonald's stores teach their employees who work on the fries to, quote, pinch the boxes in a way to have the fries appear to be filling the container while they're clearly not. Several former employees have stepped forward to reveal this practice to be true. Quote, I worked at McDonald's and they taught me how to pinch the fry carton just right while putting the fries in so that it looked full but it actually wasn't. I only had one customer call me out on it. He shook the fries out in his bag and then poured them back into the fry carton himself, and it only filled up halfway, so I had to give him more fries. I was impressed and embarrassed, said one employee. Thankfully for us all, not all employees would stoop so low. I effing hated that practice and basically refused to do it. Never got fired, but managed to have a few customers ask me when my shifts were the next week so they could have me filling their fries. So how does McDonald's benefit from this? Well, it's simple. The fewer fries they give you, the more they have to, quote, spread around, and thus the less frequently they have to order more fries or order more boxes of fries. This means they're saving money by secretly giving you fewer fries as a whole while profiting off of you. As you might expect, McDonald's has denied this, going so far as to say that they have, quote, strict operational procedures to make sure that this doesn't happen. But you go and get fries from McDonald's and see if they're half filled because of the shape of the container, and you be the judge. Number 8. Time delay. Let's stick with McDonald's and see something else that they do is, quote, questionable at best. This time it's concerning their Chicken McNuggets. When you're ordering their food, you would expect certain parts of it to be fresh, or at the least, mostly fresh. It's fair to expect that certain things like fries and chicken nuggets will be made in bulk and then refilled once they're low. But what you don't know is that for McDonald's, most of their stores don't even bother to keep them, quote, fresh if they can get away with it. In this case, we mean that they'll make a batch of McNuggets and keep them in the warming tray until someone wants them. And those nuggets could spend hours in that tray collecting dust, flies, or whatever else is going on behind the scenes. Officially, there's supposed to be a time delay until they refresh the stock, but many employees note that this is not enforced. So you might think you're getting fresh Chicken McNuggets, but you come in later that day and you might be getting ones that have just been waiting there to be eaten for hours on end. Not very appetizing, wouldn't you agree? Number 7. I see you. Picture this, you're going to a fast food restaurant, and true to form, you go through the drive-thru area. When you pull up, you look right at the speaker or at the menu, and you make your order, and you hear someone through the intercom, right? Nothing wrong with that, perfectly normal. However, that's only what you are seeing, because as many fast food places don't want you to know, including Starbucks apparently, they actually have cameras that they use to see you as soon as you're ordering. When this was revealed to some people on TikTok of all places, they didn't react as happily as you would think because they didn't like the fact that they were getting viewed without their knowledge. Some of them even revealed certain things they do while ordering, like picking their nose, since they don't think anyone is watching. Why do fast food joints watch? Probably for security reasons, as well as maybe getting visuals on people that they can use in case someone makes a big order and then ditches. It's not illegal for the record, but you could argue that they should make it clear if they're watching you from the moment you drive up. At least now you know to be on your best behavior while ordering your burger, or at the very least, not to pick your nose. How do you feel about restaurants spying on you in the drive-thru? Let us know down below. And if you're liking this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. Number 6. Container size. Easily one of the most important things you must decide when going to a fast food joint is the size of the food you get, because it can be a big difference. Or at least that's what you would expect, right? Because as fast food workers will tell you, the actual container sizes aren't as different as you'd think. The companies will use things like wordplay to trip you up and make you believe that you are getting something more when you're actually getting more of the same. Case in point, one company will say bowl of soup and then have another option that is tub of soup. Which one sounds like they have more in it? A tub, right? But if you were to compare, you'll notice that the shape of the tub may be different, but it holds the same amount of soup, and you just paid $1 more for not getting any more than you think you would have had with the bowl. Oops! Here's the thing. Technically, they aren't doing anything wrong, for as one employee explained, it's all about the context of the details and how they're said to people. Quote, "We never actually claim they're different sizes. The only place where we state the size is on the nutritional board, and they're accurate on that. The sizes available when asking for one are kids, regular, and large, so technically the company isn't falsely advertising anywhere. A cheat? Yeah, pretty much. But this is just another way fast food places try to save a few bucks while making customers think they're getting more for their buck." Number 5. Chili equals burger meat. Wendy's has been popular for decades because it promised to be different from the other fast food places in how they handle their foods, especially when it comes to burger meat. They promised it's never frozen and always fresh and such. And while that may be true, we can't vouch for every Wendy's store, we do know one thing they do with their burgers that might be a little unappetizing to some. You see, they're a big fan of not wasting things, which we can all appreciate, but one thing they'll do if they don't use all of the burger meat that they have for the burgers, they'll refrigerate it, and then, later on, chop it up and put it in their chili. On one hand, that's very clear as they're using the products that they have for their other products and not throwing things away needlessly. On the other hand, we're pretty sure some customers won't like that the chili is using, quote, leftover meat that wasn't dedicated strictly for the chili. This is probably why they don't openly broadcast this fact. Number 4. Self-serve kiosk equals more money spent. During the pandemic period especially, there were a lot of places that tried to utilize self-serving kiosks to help ensure the social distancing aspect of COVID-19 rules outside of just doing drive-thru, of course. However, if you go to a fast food joint that has one of these things, you'll really want to be careful how much you spend while using it. What do we mean? Is it a trick? It's not a scam to be clear, but the kiosks are programmed to get you to pay more. They do this by putting offers up on the screen after you've selected something you want. Because you're the only one using the kiosk and aren't, quote, in a rush to get your meal, you'll feel more inclined to adhere to their suggestions. Some speculate that you can spend up to 20% more than you were initially intending, and that can add up to be a big difference over time. Not that the fast food joints mind, obviously, they're just making more money. Number 3. Ingredients. One of the true, quote, expectations when it comes to going to a fast food place is getting what you want on your order. If you order a burger, you'll get a burger, no excuses. But that's not always what happens with some items on the menu. There are some companies out there that value their profit margins so much that they'll say they're using certain ingredients, but are using other ones instead because it's cheaper for them to buy. For example, one former Subway employee said the following, quote, "We put light mayonnaise in both bottles because it's cheaper than normal mayonnaise." You can argue that this is one of the worst scams on the list because it's taking advantage of people's faith in others, and the trust that they have in the fast food chain too. What's more, that's insulting the intentions of the customer because the difference between a light mayo and a regular mayo is important to them. That's why they ordered it. Sadly, it doesn't end there. There are those who claim that some Burger Kings will water down regular coffee and sell it as decaf. One employee claims, quote, "The decaf at Burger King isn't actually decaf. It's just the regular coffee but watered down." At mine, I was specifically instructed to water down the regular coffee. They had me do it half and half. There are some who would argue that this is a specific store kind of thing, but you honestly have to wonder if that's true. Number 2, accuracy. Piggybacking off of what we talked about earlier in terms of getting what you ordered, there are a few things more frustrating when it comes to fast food than getting something you didn't order or not getting everything you wanted. That's why parents always caution their kids to, quote, check the order before you leave. A study of fast food places and their accuracy revealed some rather shocking things about which places are most accurate with getting orders right, and which ones aren't. For example, if you want to get your order right, almost every single time, Chick-fil-A is the place for you. However, if you want a place to avoid because they screw up orders often, that would be KFC. According to the study, they only get orders right 66% of the time. That's a shockingly low number, and one that is discouraging as a whole because the point of fast food places is to get your food fast and accurately so that you can be on your way. Messing up the order honestly breaks the intent of the whole restaurant. Number 1, the evils of the McFlurry Machine. If you've been around McDonald's long enough, there are a few things you can expect. The food is greasy, but still yummy. The Happy Meal toys are usually really good, and the McFlurry Machine is the most temperamental thing on the planet. While it was a great idea for McDonald's to serve ice cream, it's random luck if it's actually working when you get there. You've probably seen the jokes or memes on the internet saying how the machines are always broken. But here's the thing, 9 out of 10 times it is working. It's just not being used for a very basic reason. The machine is very hard to clean, and after using it a certain amount, they have to clean it. But doing so takes away from the other orders, so they just say it's broken. So ask yourself, do you really need that McFlurry? Because more than likely, it's not worth the stress for one little ice cream. Thanks for watching. What did you think of this look at secrets fast food places have that they really don't want you to know about? What other secrets do you think they're holding? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Bored Badger.